Hi YouTube, this is Ebon Kim, and I am going to talk about why I am doing this. Um, I kind of mentioned in a different video why I care about politics, and I tell you that I don't care about politics. It's part of my duty. It's time for me to step up. The last 40 or something years, my previous generation, uh, everything that has culminated right now to the present is due to their successes and their failures, right? Now it's my turn. People my age, um, we need to frame this country and where it's going, and we need to start doing that now. We need to step up. To give you an idea of who I am, um, well, let's see. I was born in Houston, Texas, right? So I'm a U.S. citizen. My parents came from South Korea. My brother was born there. He's about 4.5 years older. So I'll say y'all. That's my Houston, Texas thing. And sometimes I'll kind of forget and say, can you get me Coke, like Sprite? Because back for some reason in Texas, everything's soda is called Coke, and then they ask you what kind of Coke, and then you tell them that you want like Sprite or you want Coke, Coca-Cola or something. Anyways, I don't know why that came up. All right, so my father probably didn't have a lot of money. He didn't really speak English very well. Neither did my mom. She still doesn't speak English very well now. So we're immigrants, at least my parents were. A lot of your parents, your ancestors, I'm pretty sure were immigrants here too. Even Native Americans, they're immigrants here, but from a very, very long time ago. Um, so when I'm talking about this whole Muslim ban, right, that's not a Muslim ban, um, I want to skip to that because what the real underlying debate is whether banning immigration actually works or not. There's been big immigration bans in the past by presidents and even Congress. For example, President Harry Truman banned Chinese immigrants. Franklin D. Roosevelt, he banned, who did he ban? He banned German refugees. So, big history lesson was a bunch of German Jewish refugees were on a boat and they got turned back because he didn't want Nazi spies in the country that might be slipping through. So we sent them back, and probably a lot of them died going back into concentration camps and whatnot. Teddy Roosevelt, he banned anarchists. Uh, Congress banned communists, even though President. Oh, sorry. I think that's Harry Truman. Chester A. Arthur. He was the one who banned Chinese immigrants. That's a long time ago. Sorry. My history's kind of fuzzy. Um, Jimmy Carter banned Iranians. Ronald Reagan banned HIV positive people. Even, the last few presidents, from Bush to Clinton to Bush Jr. and President Obama, they've had some immigration bans, kind of, right? Just kind of small ones, nothing really noticeable, but it's happened. Does it really work? Has it stopped terrorism? I guess no, not really. We've had a lot of terrorism attacks over the last couple decades. Bans won't stop it. I think the one head ISIS guy or something. Oh, whatever. One of them. They're born in New Mexico. He's a U.S. citizen, born whatever. So, in my opinion, based off of history, immigration bans don't work. We're all immigrants. We need to make sure people have a chance. It's how we accept people, right? That we can actually help and have them contribute to our society rather than just kind of segregating everyone. Segregation doesn't work. It's that probably causes a lot more violence than anything else. So, and for me, we grew up kind of poor. I wouldn't say that poor. I was able to eat what I wanted to eat most times. I grew up mostly alone. Parents divorced, separated, fought a lot. Didn't get along with our father. Kind of raised myself since I was like 13, 14 on my own. I get like money from my dad. He'd leave me some money, but sometimes he wouldn't out. He wouldn't come back home for a week. I'd see him 15 minutes a day sometimes. Sometimes a month would go by without seeing anyone. Electricity would be out. Things like that. It wasn't always great. Things are great now, right? And I'll talk a little bit about that. So, oh, all right. Sorry. I noticed a lot that I'll say right a lot, mannerisms, things like that. I'll touch my nose, face. It's horrible. I'm gonna try to practice not doing all those things, so it's less annoying to watch me do these videos. I'm still gonna drink coffee. Okay, black. All right. So as you can see here, 2004, 2005, before I moved to Boston. That's where I live now. Well, not really Boston, but Massachusetts. Yeah, close to Boston. I wasn't making a lot. I was making around less than 20 grand, that's for sure. My tax brackets were low, at least, right? That's not bad. So, and I'll get back to this later, right? Look at my tax brackets. I think it's like less 4%, 6.7%. It's pretty low, but I was making little. I'm doing well now. I got married. I've got 2 kids. But when I came to Boston, I probably had around $500 in my pocket. Nothing else. No friends. No family. The only one who supported me was my mother back in Seattle. I didn't get along with my brother. That's kind of part of the reason why I left. But making it on your own, $500, I had to rely on my strengths and shore up my weaknesses. My strengths is thinking, analyzing, strategizing, tactics. How do I go from making, say, $19 an hour contract work to getting full-time salary pay type of stuff? Because I can't just keep living off of 19 grand a year. I don't expect anyone else to either, because I know what it's like. So that's why I'm doing this. For my kids, I don't want them to go through what I did. For anyone else, I don't think anyone who works full-time should be struggling to survive. Kind of want to do a little bit more shout-outs. Kind of the reason why I'm doing this also partly is because as I kind of swayed away from corporate media, I had to look for other media sources, and those media sources were online, and a lot of them were these guys. I started with TYT, kind of grew out of it, looked at some other shows, but these channels, these people, they resonated with me. They keep it real, right? They're not really influenced by money. I'm not gonna listen to $28 million salaried news anchors anymore, unless I'm doing research. So if you've never listened to these shows or watched these shows, give it a try. Tim Black. What's great is on Fridays he has Freedom Fridays, so that means you can actually call in and talk with him. You get 3 minutes to talk with whatever you want, and it's great because not only do you get to listen to him, you also listen to other people. They're a broad mix: progressives, liberals, conservatives. It doesn't matter. We just want people who care about their country to talk about their issues and things like that. So definitely give them a try, and I'll provide everything in the links at the description, like I always do. H.A. Goodman, he started up his own website, which is pretty cool. Not only do you get to see his videos, which he posts on YouTube like 5-6 times a day, he now has some written stuff up. So you can watch the video that he's pertaining his written up articles for, and it's definitely worth checking out. Also recently, like I used to watch a lot of Lee Camp with Redacted Tonight. I kind of fell away. You know, I used to watch a lot of Bill Maher, Daily Show, and then they switched to the Nightly Show, and then John Oliver, you know, but I just kind of stopped. I think too much satire just kind of lulled me to sleep. So I kind of stopped watching Lee Camp. However, I don't find anything dishonest about what he does, even though he works in a big network, RT, which is Russia Times, the America section. No matter what your thoughts are about that, Lee Camp keeps it real. And you can see.
Dude, no problem. You and I got to know each other a bit on the during this whole election cycle, during the primaries. I'll
provide a link so you can see it. But to actually have someone like Tim Black on a show, Tim Black's really, really independent. That speaks a lot of volumes, right? You don't see Tim Black on a lot of shows like that, a lot of news shows, or with big audiences. So that's great. Cornel West, I really like Dr. West, all his stuff. He'll show up at like Fox News and do his thing, and what he says resonates with me. That's just me. I know your life is gonna be a lot different than mine. Your backstory, whatever, your thoughts on how we should govern, things like that. But here's a little snippet that I like.
Just had an experiment with socialism, redistribution, spreading the wealth around, and what did we have? Millions more in poverty, millions more in food stamps. Why can't you understand socialism, redistribution does not work?
Well, let me tell you this. What has happened in the last 40 years is a massive redistribution of wealth from poor and working people to the well-to-do. When 25 years ago, the top 1% had about 28% of the wealth. Today, they got about 42% of the wealth. You know how That's much, redistribution upward.
And up next.
Yeah. Listen to Cornel West, Dr. West. See what your thoughts are. You might not agree with him, but just give him a listen, give him a chance. One thing that probably didn't get into I'll probably give another segment to is maybe about economy or something like that. Mark Blythe, he's probably he's at Brown University, Watson Institute. Give him a look up, see his videos, see him talk. I think you might like what he says too. He predicted Donald Trump getting elected, and talks about global Trumpism and a whole bunch of other things, which is interesting. You won't see him on corporate media that often, but he will show up on occasion. Right now this is Secular Talk with Kyle Kulinski. So what TYT is trying to do is come up with a way to fix the system within the system. So they're trying to recreate a new Democratic Party within the Democratic Party, try to get all the corporate Democrats out and contest them in the primary and take over the Democratic Party. I don't agree with the strategy. Dr. West doesn't agree with the strategy. A couple other people don't. I don't think Tim Black agrees, but you know, I think people should help out, at least be an ally, hear what they have to say. Here Kyle kind of talks about it, and I'll play it for a little bit.
The idea is we primary all of the corporate Democrats to make the Democratic Party strong. And then with a robust, strong Democratic Party that doesn't take any corporate and billionaire money, the sky's the limit. We should be able to run roughshod over the Republicans, because understand, their official positions are deeply unpopular. Over 90% of the American people want a universal background check on guns. We didn't get it. And Mitch...
So I'll provide the link. So it's kind of like a weekly roundup almost, right? What I'm doing. But I'm not going to do this all the time. I'm hoping that you subscribe to a lot of these channels. Check out the websites on your own. You might not like them, but you know, you never know till you give it a try. And kind of going back to why I'm doing this. I used to be a big gamer. If I was, I don't want to do news. I'm not a news journalist. I don't want to do a lot of journalism. It's not my thing. I don't want to be in front of the camera talking like this all the time. I'm not very articulate. I have a lot of weird mannerisms, like I'll be or I'll be saying right, or I'll mumble a lot. I won't say a lot of. I'll slur a little bit, and I'm not. This isn't my thing. I'd rather be out enjoying the outdoors, playing games, reading books. Yeah, I don't want to do this, but I think it's important. I have to step up. You have to step up. Everyone has to step up, because we got a little bit lulled into sleep and kind of let people in power and people who are rich just kind of take advantage of us, you know? You don't want people taking advantage of you all the time. You kind of have to show them what their boundaries are, not to cross their boundaries, because we need to live our own lives and not prop them up onto this big pedestal or whatever it is. So back before I moved to Boston, a lot of it was, you know, testing, playing video games, strategy. I love strategy. That's my passion. That's my, if there was a one thing that I'd be really good at, strategy. Whether it's war, whether it's political strategy, anything that has to do with strategy, count me in. I'm really good at it. Games was kind of an outlet, and not necessarily. I'm not ambitious. I'm competitive. My brother is ambitious and competitive. I don't care if I win, but I don't want to lose either. I like having fun, but some things in life you can't just have fun all the time. You actually have to win, and I know how to do that if I wanted to. Most of the time I don't. I just care about having fun. So I'm trying to be a little bit more serious, take some more serious steps in life, but you know, I don't want to get overwhelmed by seriousness, and I don't think you should too, because it can drive you nuts and angry, and just like my rant, sometimes you have to rant. So this is the 2016 federal tax rates. As you can see, the highlighted is what I'm making now. I'm in that range. If I was single, I'd be paying 28%. And that's fine. But look at the people who are making way more than that. It's not that much. And here's the thing people don't understand. People who make that much salary, they're actually investing that. They get a lot more tax cuts. They're not paying what their tax bracket shows. So when you, and I'll do another segment on this to get into more explanation, but when you're in the middle class, earning salary, not investing yet, you're paying a lot of taxes. You're not getting over that hump of middle class to upper class. So that's like my next step, but I don't need to be a millionaire, I guess. I don't care about it. Playing games isn't expensive. Going fishing isn't expensive. I don't need to go and see the world. The world comes to me on a computer screen, going online. I mean, there's some things that I want to do and travel, and I like relaxing on a beach, things like that. Now, what I want to show you is right here. 10% for $0 to people who make less than $10,000 a year. They're taxed 10%. 13 years ago, I was paying 4.5 or something like that, 6.7%. Tax rates have gone up. I would be paying up to 15% of my, with my measly 16 grand a year. It wasn't easy living that way. So this should change, right? We got so much wealthy people that don't need to live off of billions of dollars, and people struggling, I don't think that should happen. And what I don't understand is people are so afraid of change that maybe they're thinking that they're going to become millionaires and billionaires or something like that. But really, I could probably make it. A lot of hard work. You might be able to make it, but if you haven't even made it to middle class yet, from like way down, lower blue collar wage jobs, you're not gonna make it. I don't think I'm even gonna make it. But I don't know yet because I haven't tried. But I'm putting my effort into this rather than that. So I'm your ally. If you want me or not, that's another question. But that's why I'm doing this. So hopefully you join me and you step up as well, because I can't do it alone. Other people who are trying can't do it alone. We have to do it together. All right. Good night, and hopefully I see you around.